Disney Plus is one of the biggest streaming platforms in the world, and it has a huge catalog of amazing historical films on the platform, ranging from niche period dramas to epic historical adventures. And in this video, I will give you my recommendations of the top 10 best historical movies that you can watch on Disney Plus right now, and I think these are all excellent films that all viewers of this channel will really enjoy. But before we begin, don't forget, if you love anything to do with historical movies and historical TV shows, then subscribe to my channel History Spark. At number 10 is The 13th Warrior, which tells the story of Ahmed ibn Fadlan, an exiled Arab ambassador who through a series of misfortunate events finds himself forced to join a band of Viking tribesmen as the 13th Warrior to battle against a supernatural force in a distant Viking land. The 13th Warrior is one of the few Viking films which has become more popular in recent years than it was when it initially got released, as this historical movie was a huge box office bomb upon release, but it is fondly remembered as a great Viking action adventure by fans today. So if you're looking for a historical drama with an engaging plot, great action scenes and decent acting across the board, but a film that does have issues with pacing and sequencing, then The 13th Warrior is my recommendation for you. At number 9 is Disney's 2020 live action adaptation of Mulan, which is based on the legendary tale of Hua Mulan, a courageous young woman who disguises herself as a man to take her ailing father's place in the Imperial Army and defend China from northern invaders. Mulan is a visually impressive film with epic battle sequences and sweeping landscapes, as it does a great job of making Chinese culture and tradition accessible for all viewers. This movie is pretty different and a lot more serious than its original animated inspiration, and the film definitely does struggle with pacing and plot development, but overall Mulan is still a fun and unique adventure that the whole family can enjoy. At number 8, it is the 2004 historical epic film King Arthur, which reimagines the legendary story of King Arthur and his knights as gritty Roman-era warriors defending Britain from invading Saxons. King Arthur minimizes the fantasy and mythical elements of the Arthurian legend, focusing more on political intrigue and intense large-scale battles. While the film boasts impressive visuals, brilliant acting by the entire secondary and primary cast, and some thrilling action and battle sequences, it does struggle with uneven pacing and a lack of emotional depth, with the range of deaths that occur in the film feeling pretty hollow rather than the epic loss they were supposed to be. But overall, King Arthur offers a fresh and entertaining take on the classic tale, and it is in my opinion the best depiction of King Arthur's story that we have had on the big screen so far. At number 7 is Tristan and Isolde, an epic drama based around the medieval romantic legend of Tristan and Isolde. The primary plot of this movie is based around one of the members of the English royal family falling in love with a princess from the Irish royal family. And these two families are bitter rivals and sworn enemies, making this a Romeo and Juliet type of situation. This is a great film produced by the legendary director Ridley Scott, and it stars James Franco, Sophia Myles and Henry Cavill in leading roles, and all three of them are excellent in this film. The storyline though does leave a lot to be desired, but overall Tristan and Isolde is a fairly decent medieval film that rarely ever gets mentioned or talked about, and I think all viewers with a Disney Plus subscription should at least check it out once. At number 6, it is James Cameron's 1997 epic Titanic, which tells the unforgettable story of Jack and Rose, two star-crossed lovers from different ends of the social strata who meet aboard the doomed RMS Titanic, and they have a passionate but controversial relationship. Titanic is one of the most renowned and popular period dramas ever created, and it is a visually stunning film with breathtaking special effects, lavish period detail, and a really engaging and intriguing storyline. Although it is true that the movie Titanic does a spectacular job of recreating the ship's tragic sinking and the chaos that would follow, it does still feel a bit too long, and it could have done with some more tightening during post-production. But Titanic is still one of the best cinematic period dramas ever created, but unlike most of the other recommendations on this list, this one is probably best not watched with the entire family. The 5th spot on this list goes to Kingdom of Heaven, which follows a semi-fictionalized portrayal of the life of Balian of Ibelin, who was a Crusader nobleman and the primary leader for the defense of the Christian-held Jerusalem during the siege of Jerusalem in 1187 against Saladin and his Muslim forces. The director's cut of Kingdom Heaven is, in my opinion, the best work of Ridley Scott, and unfortunately that is not what is on offer on Disney Plus here. But overall, Kingdom of Heaven has excellent cinematography and some great battle scenes and fascinating characters as well. But overall, this theatrical cut does struggle with pacing, plot development, and the understanding of character motivations. A lot of this is due to the limited runtime of the film, but overall, the film does have some A-list actors involved with the project such as Orlando Bloom, Liam Neeson, and Eva Green, so the acting is top tier and the battle scenes are also amazing. But overall, if you have not seen Kingdom of Heaven, the director's cut, then I still think you will enjoy this version of Kingdom of Heaven available on Disney+. The fourth spot on this list goes to the Pirates of the Caribbean series, with the first movie, The Curse of the Black Pearl, being my favorite movie of the original trilogy. This movie, I believe, is single-handedly responsible for bringing pirates back into the spotlight, and for good reason too, as Johnny Depp's portrayal of Jack Sparrow is, in my opinion, his best work to date, and he nails every scene he is in, whether it is comedic, serious, or sad. The rest of the primary and secondary cast are all amazing here as well, and the movie does a great job of fleshing out the villains of the film. I would say the films after the original trilogy are not that great, but if you're looking for a near perfect pirate adventure, then Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl is my recommendation for you. At number 3, it is Braveheart, a movie which reintroduced men in kilts as a cool thing to audiences, and is probably a film that is loved by all viewers whether they are fans of historical movies or not. Braveheart follows the life of William Wallace during the events of the First Scottish War of Independence, and how William Wallace grew to become a legendary figure during this time. Braveheart has amazing acting and Mel Gibson does a fantastic job of portraying William Wallace. The storyline here is also engaging and is interesting and easy to follow. As has already been widely discussed in many forums, reviews, and articles, Braveheart is infamous for its historical inaccuracies even by Hollywood standards. But I feel like this has somehow helped Braveheart maintain its popularity even to this day. Braveheart is definitely a must-watch film for any fan of medieval movies, as the story about Scottish independence is truly a magnificent watch. And if you have a Disney Plus subscription, I highly recommend that you add it to your watch list as soon as possible. The second spot on this list goes to The Last Duel, a historical film based around the last legally sanctioned duel in France's history. This film takes place in 14th century France with Marguerite de Tourbeville, the wife of the knight Jean de Courrèges, claiming she had been raped by her husband's best friend and squire, Jacques Legris. This leads to the two knights agreeing to trial by combat, and these events are what build the central plot and focus of the film. The Last Duel has some amazing A-list actors and directors involved with the film, with Matt Damon, Adam Driver, and Ben Affleck all playing lead roles in the movie, and Ridley Scott leading this film as director. Though it does need to be mentioned that this film has a unique and totally different way of portraying its story, which some viewers may not appreciate, as you are getting 3 different perspectives of the same events, which can make it a bit repetitive. But if you're looking for a truly unique and interesting medieval adventure, then The Last Duel is my recommendation for you. And the top spot on this list goes to Master and Commander: The Far Side of the World, an epic war drama set during the Napoleonic Wars. And the basic premise of the film is that during May 1805, British Captain Jack Aubrey of the HMS Surprise and his crew are tasked with the monstrous challenge of drowning or seizing the French privateer warship Acheron. But this is a near impossible task, as the Acheron is a much better equipped, manned, and faster ship than the HMS Surprise. This sets the course for a fascinating naval adventure and one of the most truly unique and realistic films I have ever seen, as Master and Commander is perhaps the best naval warfare movie ever created, and the realism of this movie is unparalleled, as you feel like you're actually witnessing what life must have been like on the sea. There's actually very little to critique about this film, except that I wish there was a sequel or some sort of continuation of this fascinating series, as Master and Commander: The Far Side of the World is definitely one of the best historical movies I have ever seen, and I cannot recommend it highly enough. So let me know in the comments down below if you agree with my recommendations of the top 10 best historical movies that you can watch on Disney+. And let me know if there are any other great films on the platform that I may have missed out on. And as always, if you want to stay up to date with everything happening in the historical world in terms of historical movies and historical TV shows, then subscribe to my channel History Spark, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.